overtime, and then the third period was an awfully big treat. As a fan, it was really enjoyable. Lots of plays being made at the end of the game, but Bob was fantastic tonight. It was really fun to watch. So that was the answer for the remaining 15 minutes of the game.
7 straight wins now. Just how confident is this group at this point?
Yeah, just when we get into tough situations, this team doesn't panic. And I know that it's only been 15, 16 games for me, but you get that sense from this group that has a lot of confidence in what they do and what we do every night. And that's something that you just can't. That's not something you just overnight have. That's something that's been built over years here, and it's starting to show with this group and how they're able to the level of resiliency each night is something that's it's fun to be a part of.
As a defenseman, just on the back line, what's your view been of Bob since you've been here? Because obviously he was amazing tonight. Just your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't usually like looking backwards. That's not usually a good thing for me, but I think it's something that. Is a very calming factor for our D. Our guys know we have him back there. We know what he can bring every night, and so that it just allows us to, I think, take a deep breath in situations where if there's a breakdown, you have him there. And I think that's one of the biggest things, one of the most important things for your D-corps is if you have that confidence in your goaltender to go out there and make saves for you. Like, you don't have to worry about your over-aggressiveness in your play, which is what we want. We want to be aggressive at our lines and things like that. So, like I said, knowing you have him is a real nice treat.
On your goal was like a 5-second shift. Have you ever scored a fast?
Yeah, it was a great change by me because I like to attribute a lot of that to him. Roddy makes a good little turn up, but no, that was enjoyable. There's not a lot of things you can say about the shift, right? Just like, hey, step on, shoot, goal, line up again, do it again.
And you touched on it earlier, but just as a new guy, what are you learning about this team's kind of refuse to lose mentality? You guys have said it over the last couple of years, but they always feel like they can win no matter what.
Yeah, and there's feelings in locker rooms I've been in my career where maybe it's not going our way tonight, and there were plenty of times tonight where it was a tough game, a grind of a game. Plays weren't always crisp on both teams. There was a lot of trying to get the puck out of your zone by flipping it out and living to fight another day. And I think that this team kind of relishes in that type of environment. Not a lot of teams can feel that way. It's something they want to make plays and make sure they feel good. This team seems to want that type of game, so because it gets us into it. Everybody gets the bench going, and when good things do happen, that is such a catalyst for this group when you're in that type of game.
Yeah, that was a fun challenge, definitely. Lots of breakaways. I think it was fun for fans too, and we had some great scoring chances too. So it's just fun all around.
What goes through your mind, if anything, in an overtime like that, where you're just facing chance after chance after chance, coming up big, but it's just maybe unorthodox workload?
No, you just stay with the wave. You just enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the moment, and play one moment. Again, I thought opponent gave us a good game. They play hard, they compete in every inch of the ice, and it's a good win for us.
You guys get the stop on connecting at the end of OT. Did that give you even more confidence heading into the shootout after making a save like that?
Well, I think if he would score, then would be no shootouts there. So, but yeah, it's just as I said, you just you stay with the moment, play by the moment, and yeah, it was a great win for us.
And another win where this team seems to always stay in the game no matter what until the end. So how impressed are you with this way this team kind of rides the highs and lows of games?
Yeah, we have a good team. We have a great group of guys, and I think guys compete hard every night. It's not easy to do, but yeah, guys able to do that, and that's what gives us success.
You've been here for a while now. This is maybe the best start the team has had since you've been here. What do you attribute to you guys playing so well right out of the gate?
Yeah, as I said, guys work hard. That's the key. Every game, every shift. It's not easy to do, but we're capable to do that, and it's fun to be part of it.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, that team plays hard. It was a hard-fought game the whole way through. So, Bobby stood on his head at the end, and that's how we got the win.
And looking at this streak now, 7 straight. Is this when the streaks start to get a little fun here, when these numbers get a little bit high like this?
For sure. I think we don't really look at the streaks. We just kind of try and treat every game the same, and our team's pretty good at that, at getting up for games that are tough to get up for, and playing that same style of hockey. So we've done a great job during this stretch.
What did you see from Bob, and especially in OT and the shootout? It just seems like he found another gear there.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. You don't see that many point blank saves very often, so that was pretty impressive. It was fun to watch for sure. He put on a show, so yeah, that was impressive.
12 games now with at least a point. How important is it for you guys to really stack up some points here in the first couple months of this season?
Yeah, for sure. I think whenever you can get wins, it's important. So our team's playing well right now. We're playing confident. So yeah, we're just going to keep trying to get as many as we can.
How high is your confidence right now? You've been just lights out.
Yeah, feeling good. I mean, just rolling over from last year, I think, and I think all our lines are playing really well right now. So not just ours, but yeah, every line is playing well, playing with a lot of confidence, and that's what we need.
For yourself, 300 career points, just a nice round number.
Yeah, for sure. It's it's great. I mean, I don't look at that too much, but yeah, anytime you can get another milestone, I guess it's it's great.
Chucky said this morning that, I mean, your line scores more goals when it's playing better defensive hockey, and it really seems like you guys played a complete game out there. I mean, how's that been going along?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think we can still get a little bit better defensively. That's always when we're playing our best. So we can dial that in a little bit more, be a little bit harder on the defensive side, and and then the offense comes.
Like Anton Lundell's game, that line was fantastic for us. This was the kind of one on the calendar I was most worried about. It's not always your first game back; it's the next one. And Philadelphia played their butts off tonight. I mean, I had no problem with that game being tied after 2 with how hard they worked, and that's the way it should be. I mean, you work as hard as they worked, and it was a grinder up and down. I don't think things were very easy. I don't think your hands were great, but I don't want to. We handled that game the way it was played very, very well. We weren't great, but a big chunk of that is the other team played really hard and battled and competed on every puck. So in those games where you know you're behind it a little bit, your hands aren't right there, nothing's easy. You just need to stay in the fight and not open up after down 1. It's the first time we've been behind in a game since the Islanders, so it's not something we've had to deal with a lot. So the outcome's great. Sergei was fantastic at the end of the game, and the Lundell's line probably gave us a chance to win that game.
And even down 1-0, Bobrovsky, I think, had 10 saves early. Like the first 10, 12 minutes.
I mean, Tippett gets in alone twice on that. Some of them are flurries, but there's so much danger around both teams, not just tips that didn't quite make it. Most of our best offense never got to their net. It just missed. They had a bunch too. Sergei was fantastic.
Evan Rodriguez with 2 assists tonight, points in all 4 games and since the Finland trip started. I mean, what have you been seeing from him?
The strength of his game is actually his defensive reads, and when he starts the game focused on that, everything kind of falls in line for him. His hands are there. He makes really good plays. I think he's confident. And the true tell of confidence is actually the plays that you don't try to make. It's not there. And tonight there wasn't a lot there, so he picked his right spots and was real good.
Nico Mikkola is a guy we don't talk about a lot, but he plays very consistently. But now he's showing up on the score sheet with 6 points in 7 games. Have you seen anything different from him?
No, we're not talking about Meek's offense. He's a hard-working gamer, right? Like, he's involved. He doesn't kind of if he's supposed to get up the ice, he gets up the ice. If he's supposed to go to the net, he'll go to the net. He'll make plays, all on competition. He's a very, very competitive man. Kind of an identity player for us back there on the blue line. So I'm glad he's getting some points because it's fun. We didn't sign him to put us over the top offensively. But those guys, you love when they get rewarded because they grind so hard in all the other parts of the game.
And how valuable has that Mikkola-Kulikov pair been as a shutdown pair, both at 5-on-5 and on the PK for you guys?
They've been fantastic for us because you're not always getting the match you want. Certainly, we spent some time on the road before we came home here. So those 2 men got a lot of the top line on the other team. That happens a lot on the road. They've been great.
And Nate Schmidt, the guy you did bring in for offense,
Yeah,
with the bomb. I mean, no, seriously.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the offense with Nate. I think that comes. It was kind of him getting into the style of game, and from his training camp to now, he just keeps building. I think the offensive numbers will be there. It'll be secondary to what he does for our team, but it's good for all those guys to get some points, feel good.
Sam Bennett, again, another goal for him.
Yeah.
Just what have you seen from him these first
Well, he
6
did
weeks of
about
the season, whatever?
15 straight sprints from their end to our end in overtime. I think he's still on the table. Played 15 minutes and skated 7,000 miles. So he's just a competitive guy, and he does have finish, and he does have hands. He can make plays. That line, I think, is kind of, I don't want to say been in and out, but they've found a way to score big goals at the right time for us.
Per shootout of the season, just how big a weapon is Alexander Barkov in shootout, especially with moves like that?
Yeah, we've got the first probably 4 guys off the bench are all different in how they approach. I think that's a real advantage. You've got guys that'll shoot the puck, and then there'll be guys that'll make moves. So we've been pretty fortunate in our shootouts, I think, with them.
What was going through your head on all those breakaways in overtime? I think Bobrovsky ended up with 6 breakaway saves.
I was thinking, thank God the playoffs aren't played 3-on-3. Maybe I should fire a defenseman out there every once in a while. I do like, we go out to score a goal. We do. And you got to be defensive and responsible. I get all that. It's no fun. It's no fun. So we go into overtime. If you work your ass off all year, you put yourself in the position that you can hopefully get enough points that you make the playoffs. I think our record since we went to that 3-forward idea has been very, very strong. I want to go score a goal. I don't want to sit back and try to get it to a shootout.
Does having 2 Selke contenders ease your mind when you don't throw a defenseman out there on 3-on-3?
That helps. Had them out there against their 4th line though tonight, and that didn't go so well for me. So, yeah, for sure. The face-offs, right? I think Sash is 9-5 tonight. So winning that first draw, having somebody left and right-handed face-off men that are really elite at what they do, so that's really good for us.
Do you guys see anything on the goal review that ended up going?
No, so we couldn't tell from our bench from what we get down there. Just the longer it went, the more confident I was that they couldn't find anything either, and it has to be cleared to be overturned.
I mean, when you look at Sergei Bobrovsky's numbers this season, they're not exactly the best, but I mean, it seems like he's been coming up with timely saves. I mean, what do you have to say about
huge saves. I think in our first whatever it was without Barkov, without those 2 centermen and Matthew, we gave up a little more than we liked. That we haven't forced him to be the difference. I think he was the difference tonight, clearly. We haven't asked him or forced him to do that too often, but he rises to that. So I don't look at Sergei's stats at all, or Nider for that matter. I watch the game. Robbie Tallis knows how well they play when he comes just by the. There's a lot of little stuff that happened around the net that he had to be really good on tonight.